During the 15 wonderful years that I spent as an 8th grade Rebbe, younger students in the school would occasionally come to me complaining that my students had treated them poorly on the bus, in the playground, in the lunchroom, because my kids were the oldest in the school and they were bossing them around. And I always told them that I promised I would do whatever I can to rectify it. But when they hit 8th grade, I fully expect that they'll remember what it felt like and they will never do this to other kids. But as we know, very often that pattern of treating people poorly winds up continuing, where people, despite the fact that they had been treated poorly at a certain time in life, they wind up passing this on to others. We find examples of this in hazing and fraternities and army units. There are many other examples of this. The most extreme being abuse victims who, God forbid, were abused and weren't treated professionally to help them sort this out, very often wind up passing on that abuse, God forbid, to others. And we call this hurt people, hurt people. People who were hurt sometimes wind up hurting other people. I'd like to offer this insight in explaining two psukim in this week's parasha, Parashas Mishpatim. The Torah tells us twice within a span of 20 psukim that we should be kind to strangers, to converts. That's the first pasuk. Don't be nasty to strangers because you were strangers. The second time the pasuk says, don't be nasty to gerim, don't oppress them, because you know what it was like, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Now, why is that explanation not offered the first time the pasuk says it? Additionally, another question that I never understood, Rashi in that first pasuk says, the reason why you shouldn't tell a stranger this, oppress a stranger, is because they could turn around and tell you the same thing. A blemish, a shortcoming that you have, don't tell it to others because they'll throw it back at you. I never understood what Rashi was saying. We don't tell our children not to be nasty to others because they'll be nasty back. You say don't do it because it's not nice. I'd humbly like to offer an alternative explanation to what Rashi's saying. And perhaps the Torah is offering us two completely different things. Maybe the Torah is telling us that we were oppressed as a nation. And when people are oppressed, it either makes them incredibly sensitive or very often insensitive, and they wind up passing it on to others. Perhaps the Torah is telling us the first time, V'ger l'sanu v'lo'sechotenu, don't be nasty to gerim. And the reason that I'm telling you this is ki gerim hiyisam be'eretz Mitzrayim. Since you were strangers in the land of Egypt, don't pass it on to others, but use it to become more kind and gentle to them. Good Shabbos.